Hi, good morning. So yesterday we learned about the surface area of a prism. So again, to remind you what a prism is. Let's see. So a prism could look something like this. This would be like a combination of a triangular prism and a rectangular prism. The most common ones that you solve as question look like a box, where this is a rectangular prism, where you basically have each faces as rectangle. Quick question: how many different how many different flat surfaces do I have here? 6 flat surfaces. Thank you. How many pairs do I have? 2 pairs? 3 pairs. 3 pairs that are the same, right? So you can do either way. You can multiply. You can find out each surface times by 2, add the 3 of them, or if you prefer, you can add 1 copy of each size of surface and then times by 2, which happens to be the same thing. So you learn about calculating surface of a rectangular prism. You also learn about calculate surface area of a triangular prism, where it looks like this. First of all, before I start to rotate, you must have laser eyes or X-ray eyes. How many surfaces do I have? How many flat surfaces? Just a review from yesterday. How many? 5. Thank you. So I have 3 of them that looks like in a rectangle, and 2 of them that looks like triangle that are opposite to each other, right? So the triangle copies are the same. So if I find out 1 copy, I can just times by 2. And these rectangles may or may not be the same depending on what triangle do I have. If it's an equilateral triangle, then all 3 rectangles will be the same. I could just look for 1 times by 3. That's it. But if this is not an equilateral triangle, meaning all sides the same, then maybe I need to find out each rectangle independently and add them. Right. So that was from yesterday. Hopefully you have the homework all done, because we have a quiz tomorrow about this, together with what we're going to learn today about surface area of a cylinder. So if you think about cylinder, I don't know what's the first thing that comes to your mind, but first thing that comes to my mind is hot dog. Hot dog. Okay. Anyone who likes hot dog with mustard? With mustard? With ketchup? With mustard and ketchup? Nice. Okay, so this one has mustard and ketchup. This looks like I mean, the hot dog itself, it's a cylinder, right? So you can think cylinder as a tube. Yeah, hot dog. Now the bun, it's a cylinder, but it's now cut open, so it's kind of modified cylinder. Let me show you another example of what a cylinder could look like. A totem pole, right? So a totem pole, in this case, it's not really flat surface like it's kind of 3 animals stacked together, but overall this looks like a cylinder, right? So if I were to approximate, if I want to again change the color of this totem pole by buying some paint to paint over it, I would need to know how many paint, what's the surface to cover. And I could probably ignore all these irregular surfaces and just estimate it as a cylinder, and that's probably gonna get me pretty close. Okay, right. So in simple questions, let's take a look at a model of just a regular cylinder. Oh, also, this is interesting as well. So a model of a rocket. Right, again, this would be a cylinder, at least the gray part. Kevin and Ryan, do you have a question? If not, can you pay attention here? Chat later. All right, so at least the gray part is a cylinder, okay? Notice that in this cylinder, though, both ends are flat, okay? So if I were to take a look at the bottom, do you recognize the shape? to circle, right? And we'll be calculating surface area of a circle. If you don't remember the formula, don't worry about it. I'll let you know. And if I take a look at, if I were to ignore the red tip, right? The other side, the flat surface area of that gray part, if I were to chop this tip off, it's going to be a circle as well. And this gray area that is round all over this rod, if I were to foil open and make it flat, do you guys know what kind of shape would that be? Sorry? So I have a circle here and a circle on the other side, and this middle part would be what? If I were to slice this open and then roll it open like a sheet, it's gonna look like a rectangle, right? So you can imagine that's my rocket. You got circle one side, circle the other side. If I were to foil this open, hey, I got a rectangle. So if I'm looking for surface area of a, in this case, a cylinder, I'm basically looking for 2 circles plus a rectangle. That's it. Okay, that's it. So let's take a look at a simpler cylinder form. It will look like this. So again, I have a circle on the top, a circle at the bottom, and look like the circle are the same size, right? If this is the regular rod that is not conic. So you have, so if you were to find out area of this circle, you could just times by 2 if you are looking for surface area overall though. And also we need to look for the area of this rectangle, which we need to know the width and the height. The height would be the height of this, and the width would be what? What would be the width of this rectangle? It's gonna be the perimeter, right? So let's take a look in an example from the book, and we'll be able to see that better. All right, so let me minimize this. Is that? Okay, take a look. Just make sure I'm zoomed in. Somewhere here. Right. All right, so if I have a can that measures oopsie, 7.5 from here to here, the unit is centimeters. And then from here to here, it's 11 centimeters. And I'm looking for the surface area. Okay, so I'm gonna make it better here. 7.5 centimeter. All right, how do we look for its surface area? So if I were to foil this, I will have a rectangle. If I were to cut it open like this, use a very sharp knife. Make sure don't cut yourself. And to foil out, I will have a rectangle, and then I will have 2 discs. Okay, that's all that is to it. Measurement of these 2 circles are what? So this 7.5, it's gonna be the diameter, 7.5 centimeters. All right. And where do I put 11? James, do I put 11 over here or put 11 over here? The top or the right? The right? Okay, because I foil out this way, right? So that's going to be 11. All right. So knowing the diameter, I'll be able to look for the surface area of the circle. Knowing one side, I'll be able to know the area of the rectangle, but I also need to know how much that side is, right? How do I look for that side? Any suggestion? Is that 7.5? Do you guys know what is the diameter given, sorry, what is the circumference, sorry. The circumference is equal to what? Is it pi d? Do you guys, pi d? Do you guys know that formula? Yeah? So, this is basically saying that if you have the diameter and roughly 3 times of the diameter is going to be the circumference, right? So if that is 7.5, see, it's going to be roughly how much? About 3 times. Thank you. Right. So since pi approximate to 3.14 something, if I know the diameter is 7.5 without pulling out the calculator, okay, I can kind of approximate where it is. If I take 7 times by 3, it's gonna be what? 21. So it's gonna be more than 21. More than 21 for sure. All right. However, because this pi number is kind of a special number, if I start to multiply it and then I'll to round it off, then guess what? I'll be losing some precisions, right? So if I'm gonna leave this to the calculator, I will leave the rounding off till the end. Okay? So leave pi as pi. So I'm gonna label this side. See, over here, the circumference is 7.5 pi. Just leave it as so. Can you do that? Leave it as 7.5 pi. Don't times this by 3.14 and start to round it off. Do that towards the end. Okay, leave it as, so here would be 7.5 pi.
Wait, so like, let's say like we write it like this, and then like when you're solving it, you write 7.5?
No, when you solve it, you do need to put it as decimal and round it to decimal places usually, right? But leave that at the end, okay? Leave that at the end since you'll be doing that with your calculator. All right, so the area of the rectangle would be what? 11 times 7.5 pi, is that correct? Yes? Area of a circle would be, do you guys know how to find area of a circle? Right, so just to review the formula, guys. Do you guys know what R stands for here? Radius. So again, some keywords here. We have C as circumference and D as diameter and R as radius. If you forgot about these keywords, okay? So here, if I have radius, notice that if I were to make this into a square, how many R squares do I have here? Guys? So, R square, 4 times. Is this greater or less than the area of a circle? What do you think? So 4 times of R square is each one of this, right? So 4 times would be a little bit too much because I'll be counting those shaded areas where not supposed to be there. Okay, So of course, 4r squared is bigger. Area of a circle in this case is pi r squared. So that would be easier to remember if you go back to that image. Okay, it's about 3 times. Okay, so if I were to calculate the r squared, it's about 3 times as much the area of the circle is. Okay, so what is my r? So notice that r would be half of 7.5. Of course, I can try to find out what that is in my head. It's gonna be what, 3.5 plus another 0.25. But I can also leave it like so, 7.5 divided by 2. Can I do that? So that's my r, okay? And I can square that, and I can times pi. Okay, so far so good. So altogether, the surface area would be what? Would be 1 copy of the area of the rectangle. I'm just gonna say 11 times by 7.5 pi plus twice of, I'm gonna write pi first, doesn't really matter if I switch the order, twice of 7.5 over 2 square. Okay, so far so good. Then just pull out a calculator. Can you do a calculator? Can you use a calculator and find what it is? Do you have a calculator with you? Raise your hand if you do have a calculator with you. Can you help out? Okay. All right, so let's do this together. All right, so I'm gonna say 11 times 7.5 times pi. Yeah, I do have a pi here. And this looks like I have 259.18. I'm gonna round it here, okay? So this is gonna be an approximation because I'm chopping off the end there. Plus, is that what you get for surface area of the rectangle? Okay, verify that with me. And then you go, okay, I'm gonna say 7.5 divided by 2 first. And then square that. And times 2 times pi gives me 88.357. So I'm gonna round it to 36. Okay, something like that. And of course, I can add this number. Thank you. Then I can add this number to, I can add both numbers together. Plus 259.18. So I have approximately 347.537. We're gonna round it to 54. Is that what you have? Make sure you can use your calculator, and you want to verify that here. Jerry and James, please. Are you using your calculator? Can you use your calculator if you haven't? Use the calculator to see if you get the same answer as I do, please. Okay, do that right now. You have your calculator. Let's do that right now. So area of the rectangle plus area of 2 circles. So that 2 is for 2 copy of the circle, okay? Yes, yes, you will be. But like what I'm saying is, leave the pi to the calculator. Don't write it out. Don't translate the pi as 3.14. Just leave it as pi. You have pi in a calculator. That's why your calculator is sweet. You don't have pi in a calculator? Are you sure?
I do.
You do. You should. You should. Okay. So leave that pi to the calculator.
Do you expect them to use the 3.14 for pi? Disagree?
Just use the pi. Pi.
But then you got a number there. Like for this question, did you use value of 3.4?
No, I'm just showing them that that's about how much it is. They should know that number.
Okay, just directly times pi.
Yeah, just times by pi. If they times 3.14, then the precision will be lower.
Yeah, or is that a little bit different number?
Yeah. All right, can we do a second example quickly? Have you verified that this number are okay? And make sure you are.
Wait,
Hold on. Raise your hand that you have the first number okay. First number area of the rectangle. How about the second number? 8836. If you haven't got that,
yes,
the way I did this is I tried to divide this by 2 first, hit enter, and then power 2, raise to the power 2, hit enter, then I times 2 times pi. I find that easier. But you can also use the bracket. It's up to you. Okay. Are we good? Area of 2 circles. Is that okay with your calculator? All right. Yes, yes? Okay. If you have doubt, go back to the video, I guess. Once I've uploaded. Second question from your book. Again, surface area of a cylinder. We have a totem pole, so it looks like this in the textbook. Oh, totem pole, right? So we have totem pole here, and the measurements are, let's see, stands 2.4 meters tall. So that is 2.4 meters. Ella, you have a question? No? Just making sure. And the diameter is 0.75. All right, so right away, if we are looking for the total surface area, including the top and the bottom and the rectangle, see, it is beneficial just to draw things out, maybe not 2 sides, but draw 2 circles and a rectangle, use the paper area that you have so you can write the measurement, right? So the diameter is 0.75. I'm gonna leave the unit out. Okay, the unit is meters. And I need to, so this 2.4 again, where do I put this 2.4 in? Eventually, does 2.4 goes to the top or to the side of the rectangle? To the side. That would be 2.4 meters. And I need to look for the measurement on the other side of the rectangle, which would be, Kaylee, do you know what the measurement on the top would be? Involves pi. It would be roughly 3 times of this diameter here. To turn diameter to circumference, circumference is about 3 times of the diameter. Diameter being 0.75. Circumference here would be, Athea, do you know? 0.75 pi. Okay, just leave it like so. It's fine. Okay, so we know the circumference. We can know the area of the rectangle would be 2.4 times 7.5 pi. Thank you. And the area of a circle would be what? It's pi r squared. So pi times r squared. R would be half. R is half of 7.5. Okay. So I need to square that. Therefore, 0.75 divide by 2 to give me r, and square it. Making sense? And I'm going to leave them like this. Do the calculation at the end when you write out the formula for surface area, which will be 1 times of surface area of the rectangle. I have 1 copy of that. So I'm just going to copy that. 2.4 times 7.5 pi plus, I have 2 of these circles, and therefore I need twice that. So twice of pi 0.75 divided by 2 square. That's my r square. Okay? So again, use your calculator. Let's go. Do you have your calculator with you? Wenjin, do you have a calculator with you? Let's go. So what's the surface area of the rectangle?
7.5.
So 2.4 times 7.5 times pi. 56. So I'm gonna round this to 2 decimal, right? So 56.55. It's 5.48, right? So we round it out to 5.5. And if you don't want to lose precision, you can actually store this number as a variable if you wanted to, but let's not. Let's just leave it like that, all right? The other part,
0.8.
I'm gonna calculate the 0.75 divided by 2 first, and I will go square that. I think I have a square key here. Oh yeah, I have a square key here. Enter. Times by 2 times by pi. What is that? What is the number that you get? Is it 0.88? Did you get 0.88? So it's 0.8835 something. Okay. And if I were to add these 2 numbers together, notice that we are losing precisions here. So be sure to use approximate equal to and not equals to. 56.55. I would have approximately 57.43. And the unit would be meter square. Can you verify your calculation? Raise your hand that you have the surface area of the rectangle, same as me. And a surface area of 2 circles? 2 circles? You didn't have that? Can you try it again? So it's important that you know how to use your calculator though. So I would do this first. You have that one?
No, like, I can just do like I diameter to the power of 2.
Pi diameter to the power of 2. I don't think so, because you will have to divide by 2 though, because yeah, I don't think the formula adds up like so. Okay, I'll talk to you. You can try that, see if you get the same number. I doubt it. Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. 56. Did I have this incorrect? 0.75. Oh, you guys, you know what? I copied this number wrong. Did you guys realize that? That should be 0.75. All right, so 0.75, not 7.5. 0.75. That's why my answer is different from the book. Okay.
The height is 2.4, 24.
Sorry?
Is the height
That's a height is 2.4.
2.4?
Yeah, height is 2.4, and this diameter is 0.75. All right, guys, let's redo that calculation for surface area of the rectangle. Yeah, because that's a 0.75, not a 7.5. So do that again. It should be off by factor of 10. So 2.4 times 0.75 times by pi. Okay, make sure you copy the number right, otherwise you'll be ending up in the same place as Mr. Chen. 5.64. All right. So Again, if you were to copy the number wrong, you have the wrong answer. Okay, that's why if you were to write this out, guys, hey, I noticed that some of you, when you're working on your homework, I just see the number at the very end. There's no way for you to figure out what went wrong. But if you have all the process written out, you'll find out that, hey, looks like the surface area of the circles are correct, but of the rectangle, I made a mistake here because I copied this number wrong. All right, so in that case, I can sum these two numbers again, and I should have it correct. Plus 0.88, and I have 6.53 approximately meter square. Okay, so there you go. All right, so again, when you're working on your homework, could I see all the steps, guys? I don't want to just see the number at the end. That doesn't do any good. I would like to see things draw out as rectangles and circles, and write out the formula for each part, and do a surface area sum. Okay, do your calculation only at this step. Just write out the formula, and then you punch them to the calculator. You get two numbers, add them together. That's it. Make sure your unit is correct. All right, guys. Right. So your exercises are in page. Please do page 186, question 4 to 13. All right.